In a small, sun-kissed town surrounded by rolling hills, there lived a young colt named Charlie. He was not just any ordinary colt. He had a soft chestnut coat that shimmered like polished copper under the sunlight. Yet, despite his beauty, Charlie's life had been far from easy. Born on a rainy spring day to a weary mare who had seen better days, he was one of the few survivors of a rough start in the world. From early on, it was clear that Charlie faced numerous struggles. His mother's frailty meant that she couldn't provide him with the strength and guidance many colts receive from their mothers. As a result, Charlie often found himself behind the other foals in learning how to run, jump, and even graze properly. The other animals at the farm would sometimes tease him for being clumsy or slow. While they galloped around with ease, Charlie stumbled and fell more times than he could count. As the months passed, the farmer noticed that Charlie wasn't growing as strong as he should be. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe. Fearing that something was wrong with him, he labeled Charlie as hopeless. To many in the community, this was a harsh but common verdict for an animal that seemed not to fit in with its peers. People whispered amongst themselves about how Charlie would never be able to compete in races or shows, the dreams of every proud owner. The farmer decided that it would be best to give away this hopeless colt rather than waste precious resources on him. But not everyone saw Charlie through the same lens. There was a woman named Emma who visited the farm often to help with caring for animals in need. Emma had a gentle heart and always believed that every creature deserved love and care, especially those who struggled the most. She saw something special in Charlie's big brown eyes, an eagerness for life despite his challenges. Emma knew that deep inside him lay potential waiting to be uncovered. She often spent her afternoons sitting by his side, talking softly as she brushed his coat and offered him treats. It was during these moments that she could see glimpses of strength beneath his uncertainty. Though others dismissed him as weak, Emma believed there was more to Charlie than met the eye. Despite her hopes for him, Emma knew it would take more than just her love to change how others perceived Charlie. One day after spending time with her favorite colt, she began brainstorming ways to find him a loving home where someone could appreciate all his quirks and charm. But doubts crept in like shadows at dusk. Who would want to take home a colt everyone viewed as hopeless? The village folks were focused on strong horses, capable of winning races or carrying loads without complaint. In their eyes, Charlie simply didn't fit this mold. Still determined to make a difference, Emma formed an idea. If she could find someone who truly understood what it meant to look beyond appearances and talent, maybe they could see what she saw in Charlie. A heart full of potential just waiting for encouragement. Days turned into weeks as she put up flyers around town, announcing that Charles was available for adoption free of charge. She described his sweet nature and how much love he could give, if only someone would give him a chance. Her hope fluttered like butterfly wings inside her chest whenever someone showed interest or came looking at horses. However, time flew by without any inquiries about Charlie until one fateful afternoon when an unfamiliar car pulled up near the barn's entrance. The engine rumbled softly before a silence enveloped the scene once again. Emma's heart raced with anticipation when she spotted a stranger stepping out. A middle-aged man wearing an old but friendly smile approached her confidently while glancing around at all the horses nearby. "Hello there," he called out cheerily before introducing himself as Sam. "I heard you're trying to find new homes for some colts." Emma nodded enthusiastically and gestured toward Charlie's stall just down from them where he stood quietly munching on hay, oblivious yet hopeful about what might come next in this unexpected visit. She explained everything about Charlie's background, how he lacked confidence due partly to teasing from other animals but didn't lack personality. Glimmering rays broke through clouds overhead, illuminating his coat as it dappled softly against straw while they spoke together, bringing forth more hope, filling Emma's heart ever so swiftly. Little did both of them know that this meeting would change not only their lives, but also reshape how everyone else perceived this once hopeless Colt forevermore. Emma had always been known in her small town as a gentle soul. With her warm smile and kind eyes, she had a knack for bringing comfort to those around her, both humans and animals alike. Living in a cozy cottage at the edge of town, she often filled her days with volunteering at the local animal shelter and helping farmers care for their livestock. Emma believed that every creature, no matter how small or seemingly weak, deserved love and a chance to thrive. Dressed in her favorite faded jeans and a soft plaid shirt, Emma would often lose track of time while tending to the animals. Her long brown hair was usually pulled back into a loose braid, and she always wore a pair of sturdy boots that were perfect for walking through muddy fields. The townsfolk admired her dedication, even if they sometimes worried about her spending so much time with animals that others had given up on. One sunny afternoon, after a morning spent caring for kittens at the shelter, Emma decided to visit the nearby farm where Charlie lived. As she strolled along the dirt path leading to the barn, the familiar sounds of clucking chickens and mooing cows greeted her like an old friend. But it was Charlie who occupied her thoughts. The more she saw him, the more convinced she became that there was something special hidden beneath his timid exterior. When she reached Charlie's stall, he raised his head and nickered softly, recognizing her presence. His big brown eyes sparkled with curiosity and innocence as he stepped closer. Emma knelt down beside him, running her hand gently over his smooth coat, feeling the warmth radiate from his body. In that moment, all of Charlie's insecurities seemed to fade away, replaced by a bond built on trust. "Hey there, buddy," Emma said softly, her voice smooth like honey. "I've missed you." She could feel Charlie relaxing under her touch. He leaned into her hand, as if to say he welcomed the affection. Over time, Emma learned to read the subtle signs of Charlie's emotions. She noticed when he was nervous or unsure, and would patiently encourage him with soothing words or a sweet carrot treat. It wasn't just about training or teaching him tricks. It was about building confidence within him, a task far more important than any competition could ever measure. While other townsfolk dismissed Charlie as weak and unworthy of attention, Emma saw beyond that label. She recognized his unique personality, his playful spirit that emerged whenever they played games like hide-and-seek behind bales of hay, or his quiet determination when he tried to leap over low obstacles despite tripping occasionally. To Emma, these moments were not failures, but rather stepping stones toward growth. But there were days when doubt flickered through Emma's mind, like shadows dancing in the evening light. Who would want to adopt a colt that everyone else deemed hopeless? She knew deep down that finding someone who shared her vision for Charlie required patience and courage, not just from herself, but also from whoever might one day open their heart to this special horse. On those tough days, Emma would remind herself why she continued to forge ahead despite challenges, because every creature deserves a champion who believes in them wholeheartedly. And for Charlie, who had already faced so much adversity, she wanted nothing more than to be that champion. As Emma watched Charlie grow stronger each week, even if only by tiny increments, she felt hope surging within her heart like spring flowers pushing through melting snow. It became clear that their connection extended beyond simple companionship. They were both learning from each other in ways neither could have predicted, determined not just to keep Charlie safe, but also to find him a forever home where he would be cherished. Emma began brainstorming ideas on how best to share his story with others. Perhaps flyers around town could help. Or maybe hosting an open house event at the farm would allow people to meet him in person. Every thought felt like another brushstroke on an evolving canvas, filled with dreams waiting patiently for color. Little did she know that fate was about to intervene dramatically one afternoon, when she least expected it. As Emma spent more time with Charlie, her heart filled with a deep sense of purpose. She watched him grow, not just physically, but emotionally, as their bond strengthened each day. The way he nuzzled against her shoulder or playfully nudged her hand for treats warmed her soul and lit a fire within her to take action. It became increasingly clear to Emma that Charlie deserved so much more than the label of hopeless that everyone else had imposed upon him. Determined to help him find a better future, Emma started thinking carefully about how to go about finding Charlie a loving home. She knew he needed someone who would appreciate his kind spirit and unique personality. A person willing to see beyond his flaws and embrace him for who he truly was. In her mind, this wasn't just about getting rid of a Colt. It was about giving him the chance at a life filled with love and joy. One evening, while sitting on her porch after another day spent at the farm, Emma began creating a plan. She grabbed some paper and colored markers from inside and spread them out on the table in front of her. With each stroke of the marker, ideas whirled around in her mind, shaping themselves into action steps that felt hopeful yet daunting at the same time. What if I start building awareness? She murmured to herself as she sketched an outline for flyers. I can write about all the wonderful things that make Charlie special. Her imagination sparked anew with every detail she penned. Tales of their playtime adventures, moments where he bravely attempted challenges, jumping over little logs or running around the barn excitedly after butterflies took flight nearby. Emma considered placing these flyers throughout town, posting them at local shops and community centers where many people gathered. Perhaps she could even introduce Charlie to potential adopters through scheduled visits at the farm. The thought made her heart race with excitement, but also fear. What if no one showed interest? What if they glanced at him briefly, then turned away? Pushing her doubts aside, Emma focused instead on what Charlie truly meant to her. A friend deserving of happiness, just like anyone else. She resolved not only to share his story, but also showcase how much effort he put into growing stronger every day. Days passed as Emma carefully crafted each flyer, making sure they captured all aspects of Charlie's charm while encouraging people to come meet him personally. Filled with color and excitement, the flyers read, "Meet Charlie, the Colt who just needs love." Each letter reflected both hopefulness and urgency. It was as though she was sending out small invitations into the world, pleading for someone to recognize how extraordinary he was. After hanging them up around town one sunny morning, Emma felt something shift within herself. Like a gust of fresh wind, breathing new life into old dreams, waiting patiently for attention. Excitement fluttered in her chest as she imagined families gathering on weekends, eager to visit horses, maybe even falling in love with Charlie. The weeks rolled by slowly, like warm honey dripping from a spoon. Emma remained devoted throughout this journey despite occasional setbacks. The whispers of doubt lingering in corners whenever no visitors came knocking at the barn door. But she pressed on through each quiet afternoon, spent brushing Charlie's coat or teaching him gentle commands. Finding comfort knowing every moment counts toward promoting awareness brings warmth back again. Then came an unexpected epiphany. Hosting an open house event. With determined focus ignited yet again by pure passion for helping animals find homes where they belong. She decided this would be perfect way not only showcase dear friend, but also unite local community toward kindness, and perhaps save more than just one horse. Emma's vision expanded beyond merely getting attention toward providing insight into what adopting an animal entails. The joy brought from nurturing those who may have once faced hardships themselves resonated deeply across lines etched between humans and creatures alike. With renewed energy bubbling inside herself, almost too strong for small cottage walls hold captive anymore. For nights grew longer under twinkling starry skies, above brightly lit porches, lit-up neighbors smiling down, watching. Determination grew fiercer alongside simple suggestions, whispered here, there until everything fell. Line place, perfectly orchestrated harmony, waiting its cue. Little did Emma know that destiny awaited right around corner. Ready reveal rewards, perseverance taught, courage following these noble pursuits, chasing light, beckoning hearts together, drawing near sharing bonds birthed beyond boundaries. As Emma's excitement grew over her plans for Charlie, the reactions of the townsfolk began to surface. When word spread that she was dedicated to finding a home for the once deemed hopeless Colt, opinions ranged from supportive to skeptical. While some admired Emma's heart and efforts, many others expressed doubt about Charlie's future. At the local cafe, where friends gathered each morning for coffee and chit-chat, conversations often turned to the subject of animals and their worth. "What a lovely thing Emma is doing," said Martha, an elderly woman known for her love of animals. "That Colt really deserves a second chance." Her words resonated with a few patrons, who nodded in agreement. However, across the room, Bill, a rancher who had raised horses all his life, frowned as he stirred his black coffee. "A second chance? You're wasting your time, Martha," he retorted with a shake of his head. "Charlie isn't like other colts. He'll never be strong enough to compete or serve any real purpose." Bill's sentiment echoed through the community like whispers in a quiet valley. Many held similar beliefs. Charlie's lack of speed and strength made him an outcast among the other horses. They couldn't see past the label placed on him by the farmer. After all, in a town that valued hard work and success, a horse that struggled was often perceived as useless. While Emma remained optimistic and focused on her mission, she often overheard conversations that made her heart heavy. People speculated whether her efforts were in vain as they passed by Charlie's stall on their way to admire the more muscular and lively horses nearby. "She's dreaming if she thinks anyone would want him," one man scoffed while gesturing toward Charlie, who stood quietly munching hay. But Emma was undeterred by these remarks. She knew that change often starts with just one person's belief in something greater than what others could see. Every time she brushed Charlie's coat or shared stories of their adventures, she felt that spark of hope intensify within her, even if she faced opposition from those around her. At the town hall meeting one Wednesday evening, Emma decided it was time to present her vision publicly. She stood nervously before her neighbors, clutching her stack of colorful flyers tightly in her hands. As she spoke about Charlie's potential and her plans to host an open house event, some residents listened attentively while others whispered among themselves. The more she shared about the unique bond they had formed, the more some expressions softened, while others seemed doubtful. "Emma," interrupted one voice from the back, a familiar face who had often shared unkind words about Charlie. "Why waste resources on a horse that won't bring anything to our community? We need horses that contribute." Laughter erupted from a few in attendance, making Emma's heart sink momentarily. Despite the negativity, Emma held her ground. "Every creature deserves love," she replied firmly, looking directly at the skeptics in the room with newfound determination. "Charlie may not become a racehorse or work in the fields like others, but he has so much love to give. And that matters just as much." There was silence after her statement. an unexpected pause that felt heavy with emotions left hanging in the air. Some faces shifted from skepticism to contemplation. Perhaps there was something more to this story than they had initially recognized. As days passed leading up to Emma's open house event, she continued to hear murmurs about Charlie around town. A mix of support and doubt permeated conversations at every corner. Some folks began sharing their own stories of animals they had loved, who had also faced challenges and overcame them. Little by little, hearts began to shift ever so slightly. However, despite glimmers of hope from a few understanding individuals, many still clung tightly to their reservations about Charlie's future. As the open house approached, Emma sensed that public perception would play an essential role in determining whether Charlie would finally find his forever home or remain labeled as hopeless. With each passing day leading up to the event, Emma worked tirelessly to prepare not just for visitors, but also for changing minds and hearts. One conversation at a time. She hoped that when people came face to face with Charlie, spending time with his gentle spirit, they might truly see him for who he was. Not just an underdog, but a potential friend, waiting for someone to believe in him wholeheartedly. Little did she know how profound these moments would be, both for Charlie and for everyone who walked through those barn doors seeking connection. The day of the open house event had finally arrived, and excitement buzzed in the air like a warm summer breeze. Emma woke up early, her heart racing with anticipation. She had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, decorating the barn with colorful balloons and banners that read, "Meet Charlie, the colt who just needs love." The sun peeked over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the fields and illuminating Charlie's stall, where he stood munching on fresh hay. Emma took a moment to breathe in the crisp morning air, feeling hope swell within her. She gently brushed Charlie's coat, making sure he looked his best for the visitors. As she worked, she spoke to him in soft tones, telling him how special he was and how she believed today might change everything for him. As the morning progressed, families began to arrive at the farm. Children giggled with delight as they spotted Charlie's gentle face peeking out from his stall. Emma greeted each visitor warmly, eager to share Charlie's story and showcase his kind spirit. However, deep down, she felt a mix of nerves and excitement. Would anyone truly see Charlie for who he was? Amidst the crowd, a stranger appeared, a man in his 40s with a rugged yet friendly demeanor. He wore a simple plaid shirt and jeans that showed signs of hard work. His weathered hands suggested he was no stranger to caring for animals. He walked with purpose toward the barn, drawn by the laughter of children and the cheerful atmosphere. Emma noticed him immediately and felt an unusual spark of curiosity about this newcomer. She approached him with a smile. "Hello, I'm Emma. Are you here to meet Charlie?" The man smiled back, his blue eyes sparkling with interest. "I heard about this event and wanted to see what all the fuss was about," he replied. "I'm Sam." Emma led Sam over to Charlie's stall, where the colt stood shyly but curious about the visitors around him. "This is Charlie," Emma introduced proudly. "He may not look like much to some people, but he has so much love to give." As Sam leaned closer to observe Charlie, something caught his eye. An unusual mark on the colt's coat that resembled a small white star just above his left shoulder. The mark shone as it caught the light, creating a striking contrast against his chestnut fur. "Wow," Sam exclaimed softly, pointing at the star-shaped marking. "Look at that. It's beautiful." Emma beamed at his reaction. "Isn't it? I've always thought it made him unique." Sam straightened up and regarded Charlie with newfound interest. "You know, he said thoughtfully. That mark could mean something special. Sometimes horses with unique markings are descendants of prized bloodlines. Emma's heart skipped a beat at his words. Could it be possible that Charlie had more potential than she ever realized? Maybe this star marking held a deeper significance that others hadn't recognized before. As they continued to chat, Emma watched Sam engage with Charlie in a way that made her heart soar. He knelt down beside the colt and offered him a gentle hand, allowing Charlie to sniff curiously at his palm. A moment later, Sam produced a small apple slice from his pocket, a treat he must have anticipated bringing along, and offered it to Charlie. Charlie took it eagerly, nudging Sam's hand affectionately as he crunched down on the sweet fruit. Emma smiled wide as she saw this connection blossom right before her eyes. "You know," Sam said after watching Charlie enjoy his snack, "I can see there's something special about him beyond just this marking. He has a gentle spirit." Emma nodded vigorously. "That's what I've always believed. He deserves someone who can appreciate him for who he is." As visitors wandered around looking at other horses and enjoying refreshments Emma had set out, Sam stayed by Charlie's side longer than anyone else had so far. They shared stories of their own experiences with animals, and their bond deepened with every passing minute. Gradually, more people began to notice Sam's interest in Charlie and stopped by their stall to learn what was happening. They watched as the once timid colt began to come out of his shell, nuzzling closer to Sam as if sensing he was safe. "Are you considering adopting him?" one visitor asked curiously. Sam paused for a moment before answering. "I think I might be interested," he replied slowly but thoughtfully. "This little guy has something that makes me want to know more." Emma's heart swelled with hope at those words. Perhaps today was not only an open house, but also the beginning of new possibilities for both her beloved Colt and for herself as well. Little did they know that this chance encounter would mark a turning point in Charlie's life. A day when doubts would finally begin to fade away, like morning mist under bright sunshine. As Sam knelt beside Charlie, the gentle colt focused on him with curiosity, his soft brown eyes shining with trust. But it was the unique mark on Charlie's coat that truly captivated Sam's attention. Nestled just above Charlie's left shoulder, a small star-shaped patch of white fur stood out against his rich chestnut coat, creating a striking contrast that seemed to glimmer under the sunlight. "What a remarkable mark he has," Sam said, gesturing towards the star. "You know, markings like this are often more than just random spots. They can signify something about a horse's lineage or history." Emma's interest piqued as she listened closely. "Really? I've always thought it was pretty special. But what does it mean?" Sam straightened up and shared what he knew. In many equestrian circles, horses with unique markings, especially those resembling stars or other symbols, are believed to be descendants of prized bloodlines. The star can sometimes indicate a connection to a strong heritage of racing horses. It stands as a symbol of strength, endurance, and potential. Emma felt excitement shoot through her at these words. The idea that Charlie might carry within him the legacy of renowned horses sparked her imagination. She had always known there was something special about him, but this new information added another layer to his story. A possibility that Charlie could have hidden talent just waiting to be discovered. As Sam continued to examine the mark, he leaned in closer and gently ran his fingers along Charlie's coat, just where the star was located. "See how it shines in the light? That speaks to his vitality and health," he said thoughtfully. "It's not just any horse that has such a mark. They're often seen as horses that have a bit of magic about them." Emma's heart swelled with hope. Could it be that Charlie was destined for greatness after all? Despite being labeled hopeless, here was someone who recognized the potential buried beneath all the teasing and scrutiny. Encouraged by Sam's observations, Emma decided to tell him more about Charlie's life so far, the struggles and triumphs that shaped his timid character. "Charlie has faced so much already," she began, looking between Sam and the Colt. "He's been through tough moments because of his weak beginnings and the doubts others had about him. But this mark could very well mean that he's capable of so much more than anyone has given him credit for." Sam nodded slowly as he absorbed her words. "It sounds like he just needs someone patient who believes in him," he replied, glancing back at Charlie. "With time and training, who knows what he could achieve?" As they spoke, Emma noticed Charlie reacting positively to their conversation. He shifted closer to Sam, nuzzling into him, as if sensing the warmth of encouragement radiating off their connection. Seeing this made Emma's heart swell with excitement. Perhaps today was indeed the day that everything would change for her beloved Colt. With renewed enthusiasm, Emma decided to add details about Charlie's extraordinary mark in her presentation to other visitors that day. She imagined sharing how it wasn't just a beautiful feature, but rather a beacon showing all who would listen that this Colt carried possibilities worth exploring. As the event unfolded, several guests moved from stall to stall, but seemed drawn to where Sam knelt next to Charlie. Their curiosity about the gentle spirit at play blossomed as they noticed the newcomer's interest in the star marking. "Have you heard about his lineage?" one visitor asked as they gathered nearby. "He has markings that could tell a whole story." "Yes," Emma chimed in enthusiastically. "That star represents so much potential. Anyone adopting him would not only gain a friend, but also take on a journey connecting with the kind of strength only a horse like Charlie possesses." More conversations began sparking among visitors, linking stories of racehorses and memorable moments sharing life with horses, exhibiting unique qualities like Charlie's. One by one, people started relating their own experiences with animals who faced hardships but ultimately changed their lives alike. Underneath all those conversations flowed an undeniable sense of hope. A whispering awareness illuminating each person, showing newfound admiration for this once threw-away Colt on what felt like destiny's doorstep. With Sam by his side, offering both kindness and encouragement, while everyone else slowly grasped at what made Charlie extraordinary. Idealistic dreams teetering on destiny began reorganizing, before Emma's eyes transformed aspirations toward tangible realities ahead, preparing beautiful paths unfolding never before considered. Little did they know just how powerful this moment would become for them all. Infusing hearts woven together under light, lifting clouds separating each other from endless possibilities, waiting longed-full anticipation despite any shadow lingering beneath the surface. As the day of the open house continued to unfold, something magical began to happen. Sam's interest in Charlie and his unique star marking acted like a spark igniting a fire of hope within the community. The once quiet barn filled with laughter and chatter, and the atmosphere transformed from skepticism to curiosity. Families gathered around Sam as he talked about Charlie, each word weaving a story of potential that resonated deeply with everyone present. Emma watched in awe as more and more visitors approached to learn about the gentle Colt. Sam's excitement was infectious. The way he spoke about Charlie captivated both children and adults alike. With each passing moment, people began to see beyond the label of hopeless that had shadowed Charlie for so long. "Did you know that horses with markings like his often have special abilities?" Sam asked one group of intrigued children. "It means they may have a stronger connection to their heritage, and who knows what a horse like Charlie is capable of." The children gazed wide-eyed at Charlie, their imaginations running wild with dreams of adventures and races. Emma felt a warm glow inside her heart as she listened to Sam reaffirming all the virtues she had seen in Charlie. His words made others reconsider their previous notions. They started imagining a future where this colt could thrive rather than wither away. Discussions began flowing about possibilities, training them for riding or even simply having them as loving companions. Within this newfound enthusiasm, Emma sensed a shift happening right before her eyes. A blossoming network of support forming around Charlie that had long been absent. People shared stories from their own lives, about animals they cherished, how much love they had given, and how those animals returned it tenfold. These stories built connections among strangers in ways that felt almost magical. "Maybe we should set up some training lessons," shouted a local mother excitedly as she jotted down ideas on her phone. "Children would love learning how to engage with gentle horses." "Exactly," Sam replied, gesturing animatedly toward Charlie. "Imagine a program where kids help train Charlie while learning about care and compassion for animals. It could change their perspectives too." As ideas bounced around the barn like kids during recess, Emma's heart swelled with gratitude toward Sam. His unwavering belief in Charlie offered the colt something more than what she alone could provide. It opened doors leading to changes in not just his life, but also within the hearts of many. Suddenly, an elder woman approached, her wrinkled hand resting lightly on Sam's shoulder. "I remember when I had a horse like him once," she said softly, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "He had struggles too, but turned out to be my best friend. I think Charlie just needs someone who believes in him." Those words struck powerfully, resonating through Emma's heart. They echoed everything she had fought for, believing that every creature mattered regardless of their past or what others deemed impossible achieved by them. Sam knelt again beside Charlie and reached out gently to rub his nose. "What do you think, buddy? Are you ready to show everyone what you can do?" He looked around at the growing circle of friends gathering and smiled broadly. In that moment, Charlie seemed to understand the vibe surrounding him. He breathed deeper while leaning into Sam's touch. Emma noticed how his posture became steadier, like he drew confidence not just from Sam, but also from the warmth and encouragement radiating off everyone nearby. As afternoon sunlight poured into the barn through open doors, painting stripes of gold across the hay-strewn floor, Emma finally saw the potential for change extend beyond mere ideas written on paper. They diffused vibrantly into living connections being made between all present. People began to engage directly with Charlie, patting him affectionately and sharing treats while completely enamored by his gentle spirit as he lowered his head in appreciation for each act of kindness extended towards him. Their actions spoke louder than words. Little by little, doubt started to dissolve as understanding reigned instead. And hope sprouted roots right through conversations formed around true compassion, witnessed by all present that beautiful day. As evening fell and families prepared to head home, some discussing ways they would return next week for more visits, Emma felt deep satisfaction settle heavily upon her heart, like a comforting quilt draped warmly over her shoulders on a chilly night. In Sam's support of Charlie lay something more than newfound interest. It planted seeds of potential, well-formed connection, never allowing obscurity drown out dreams again. Ever transformed within these hearts, taking flight, brightened their narrative forevermore. Little did Emma realize that this was only the beginning for many transformations, signaling brighter tomorrows ahead, waiting patiently toward realizing full dreams, still daring further, extending beyond those barn doors into lives yet lived unfolding brightly together. As the day continued to unfold, Emma couldn't help but notice how her connection with Sam deepened amidst the excitement surrounding Charlie. Their shared passion for animals created an invisible thread that wove their lives together, and she felt grateful for his presence at this pivotal moment in her journey. While the crowd engaged with Charlie, Sam and Emma found themselves slipping away to a quieter corner of the barn. They leaned against a wooden beam, surrounded by soft hay and the gentle sounds of horses munching nearby. Emma looked over at Sam, who was still animatedly discussing the unique marking on Charlie's coat. "You know, I've always believed that animals have a way of teaching us about ourselves," Sam said thoughtfully, glancing down at his hands as he spoke. "I grew up on a farm. My father taught me how to care for them. Each animal had its own personality. So much to learn from them if you take the time to listen." Emma nodded enthusiastically, feeling a warmth spread through her heart as they exchanged stories of their past experiences. "I completely agree. Animals have this incredible ability to sense our emotions," she replied. "Charlie has seen so much hardship already, but with kindness and patience, I truly believe he can flourish." Sam's eyes brightened as he listened. "Exactly. It's like they mirror back what we show them. If we treat them with compassion and understanding, they respond in kind." Their conversation flowed easily from one topic to another, sharing tales of their childhood pets that had shaped their lives or funny moments involving quirky animals they had encountered over the years. Emma laughed as she recounted a story about a mischievous goat named Billy, who had once stolen her hat right off her head during a summer picnic. "That sounds like quite the character." Sam chuckled, his laughter ringing warm and genuine in the air. "It's amazing how these experiences stick with us. They shape both our hearts and inspire us to fight for those who can't speak for themselves." As they exchanged these stories filled with love for animals, Emma felt more connected to Sam than she ever expected. There was an understanding between them, a mutual recognition of kindred spirits brought together by their desire to help those in need. The bond felt organic and grounding. It reaffirmed not just their individual motivations, but also a collective purpose. "I never thought I would meet someone like you at this event," Emma admitted shyly, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear as she glanced at Charlie in the background. "It's comforting to see someone who appreciates the beauty in animals overlooked by others." Sam smiled warmly at her words before looking back toward Charlie. "I've seen many horses in my life," he said slowly, "but something about him feels different. Like he's waiting for someone to believe in him." Emma's heart swelled with gratitude and hope. Here was someone who understood Charlie's journey almost instinctively. It felt like fate had brought them together precisely when they needed one another most. As afternoon sunlight streamed through the barn doors, casting golden rays onto the hay-strewn floor, Emma turned toward Sam earnestly. "If you do decide to adopt Charlie," she said softly, "it would mean everything to me, knowing he would have such a compassionate person by his side." Sam paused thoughtfully before responding. "I believe every creature deserves a chance, a loving home where they can thrive," he replied sincerely. "And if it feels right for both you and Charlie, then I think I might just have found my next adventure." In that moment, both felt a shift within themselves, a realization that they were on the brink of something special, not only for Charlie, but also for each other. Together, they could champion compassion toward animals like him who had endured so much. As visitors continued flowing around them, filled with laughter echoing through the barn walls, alive with anticipation, Emma knew this newfound connection wasn't just about finding a home for Charlie. It was about creating deeper relationships founded on shared values of love and kindness. as dusk began settling outside, painting an array of colors across the sky. Emma and Sam stood shoulder to shoulder, watching Charlie interact cheerfully with children, eager to offer him treats. They envisioned all that lay ahead. The training sessions filled with laughter and encouragement, as well as forging bonds between humans and animals alike. Nurtured out love, existing from every heart assembled around them today. With each passing moment spent together, helping this colt discover his potential alongside each other. Little did they realize that seeds being planted today would sprout into extraordinary transformations, changing not only their lives, but also creating ripples throughout their community, nurturing empathy that would flourish far beyond barn doors. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden hue across the barn, the lively atmosphere started to settle into a comforting calm. Emma observed the visitors dispersing as they left, their faces painted with smiles and hearts filled with new ideas about Charlie's potential. She felt a swell of gratitude for the day's success, but found her gaze repeatedly drawn back to Sam, who was still standing near Charlie. The gentle colt stood proudly, occasionally nuzzling Sam's shoulder as if recognizing the bond they had begun to form. There was something in Sam's demeanor that suggested he was contemplating a significant decision, his brows furrowing thoughtfully as he watched Charlie trot playfully with the children. Emma stepped closer, sensing the gravity of the moment. "You've been so wonderful with him," Emma said softly, breaking the silence. "I can see how much Charlie enjoys your company." Sam smiled, his gaze never leaving the colt. "It feels special," he admitted. "There's something about him that resonates with me. I feel like he has this inner strength waiting to be uncovered." Emma nodded, feeling her own heart leap for joy at his words. "He really does have a unique spirit. It just takes someone who believes in him to help him realize his potential." Taking a deep breath, Sam turned to Emma, determination etched across his face. "You know," he began slowly, "after seeing how Charlie interacts with everyone today and hearing your stories about him, I think I want to adopt him." Emma's heart raced at Sam's declaration, excitement bubbling within her like a spring flower pushing through thawing soil. "Are you serious?" she asked, her voice laced with disbelief and joy. "I am," he replied earnestly. "I've seen animals like Charlie before, sometimes overlooked because of their past or weaknesses. But I've also seen what love and patience can do." He paused for a moment, his eyes reflecting a depth of understanding that touched Emma deeply. "I believe Charlie deserves a chance, a loving home where he can flourish without doubt." Tears of happiness welled up in Emma's eyes as she realized this was precisely what she had hoped for. Charlie finally finding someone who recognized his worth, despite the labels placed upon him by others. Thank you for believing in him," Emma exclaimed, enveloping Sam in an unexpected hug filled with gratitude and joy. The warmth of the moment enveloped them both as they shared this new dream, taking shape under the fading light. "I think we both believe in him," Sam said quietly, squeezing her shoulder with sincerity. "And I feel that together, we can help him become more than anyone ever thought possible." As they pulled away from each other, Emma felt an unspoken partnership forming, one built on shared values of kindness and compassion toward animals in need. The prospect of working alongside someone who understood her mission so deeply filled her with hope and excitement. "I can help you get everything ready for Charlie," Emma offered enthusiastically. "We can make sure he has everything he needs to start this new journey." "I would love that," Sam replied, his eyes shining bright with excitement. "I think getting to know each other while bonding with Charlie will be an amazing experience for all of us." They talked about logistics over the next few minutes, discussing everything from feeding routines to training plans. Emma could hardly contain her joy as she pictured the days ahead. Sam spending time with Charlie, building their friendship while she supported them both. As preparations began for Sam's adoption of Charlie, a sense of community blossomed around them. Other visitors who lingered nearby heard their conversation and rallied around them once more, cheering on this lovely development. "Let us know how we can help," one mother chimed in. "Maybe we could organize some fundraisers or community events to support Charlie's training." The idea of collective support stirred a sense of camaraderie amongst the guests present, people who all wanted to see Charlie thrive and believed in giving second chances to animals facing hardships. In that moment, Emma knew that through Sam's decision to adopt Charlie, not only would they change the Colt's life, but also foster a growing network of compassion and understanding throughout their community. With every detail discussed and every heart united in shared purpose. This day marked not just the beginning of Charlie's journey to find his forever home, but also the blossoming of relationships forged through love for animals, creating ripples of hope that would continue spreading far beyond this barn into countless lives waiting eagerly for transformation. In the weeks that followed Charlie's adoption, a beautiful transformation unfolded in both the Colt and his new home. Sam worked tirelessly to create an environment where Charlie could thrive, filled with love, patience, and understanding. The small farm became a sanctuary for not only Charlie but also for Sam, who found joy in nurturing the gentle spirit of the once labeled hopeless Colt. Every morning began with a routine that set the tone for their day. The sun would rise, casting soft rays over the fields as Sam approached Charlie's stall with a warm smile and a handful of treats. "Good morning, buddy," he would call out cheerfully, and Charlie would respond with an eager whinny, his star marking gleaming in the early light. With each passing day, Charlie became more confident and comfortable in his new surroundings. Sam dedicated time to building trust with Charlie through gentle handling and training sessions that focused on positive reinforcement. He knew that patience was key to unlocking the Colt's hidden potential. They started with simple commands, like walking beside him while leading him gently by a rope. As they practiced together, it was evident that Charlie was not just learning, he was growing into himself. The bond between them flourished remarkably. Charlie responded to Sam's voice like it was music, a soothing melody that encouraged him to push past any lingering fears from his past. When Sam praised him for mastering a new skill or simply for being brave enough to try something new, Charlie's eyes sparkled with pride. Each successful moment built upon the last, slowly erasing any doubts about his worth. Emma visited often, bringing treats and providing support as she watched in awe at how quickly Charlie was evolving. She felt as if she were witnessing a miracle unfold before her eyes. "He looks so happy," Emma exclaimed one afternoon as she observed Sam and Charlie trotting together across the field. "I can hardly believe it's the same Colt I found." "He is thriving," Sam replied with conviction, leaning against the fence while watching them run free under the vast blue sky. "I always believed he had it in him. He just needed someone who cared enough to help him find it." With Emma's encouragement and support from others in their community, they organized small events at Sam's farm where families could come to meet Charlie and learn about caring for horses. Children giggled as they fed him carrots or brushed his coat, while adults shared stories of their own experiences with animals in need of love. As time passed, word spread throughout town about this remarkable transformation. The once timid Colt who had been overlooked now stood tall as a beacon of hope for many who visited. People began seeing Charlie not just as a horse, but as a symbol of resilience and second chances. One sunny Saturday afternoon marked a significant milestone. Sam decided it was time for Charlie to participate in his first local event, a friendly gathering at the community rodeo where families showcased their animals. With Emma by his side, offering guidance and support, Sam entered Charlie into a light-hearted competition focused on skills rather than speed or strength. As they approached the arena surrounded by cheerful crowds, Sam felt both excitement and nerves bubbling within him. He led Charlie into the ring confidently. The Colt seemed to sense that this moment was special, his star marking shining proudly under the midday sun. Throughout the event, spectators watched in awe as Sam guided Charlie gracefully through various tasks, navigating obstacles made from hay bales and even showing off some tricks they had practiced together. Each successful maneuver brought cheers from those watching, families clapping enthusiastically as they witnessed firsthand how far this once hopeless Colt had come. In those moments, filled with laughter, echoing across fields alive with joy, everyone present felt inspired, not just by Charlie's accomplishments, but also by what he represented: hope found in unexpected places. As the sun dipped below the horizon later that evening, painting vibrant colors across the sky, Emma stood next to Sam, watching all that transpired during this incredible day unfold before them like pages from a storybook filled with dreams realized. "Charlie has become more than I ever imagined," Sam said quietly, glancing at Emma with gratitude reflected in his eyes. "He's shown us both what believing can do," she replied softly, feeling her heart swell with joy, knowing they had played a part in creating this beautiful narrative of survival and connection. Together, they stood hand in hand, basking under fading daylight alongside their beloved Colt, knowing this was only just beginning, a journey of love destined to flourish long into tomorrow.